Begin Within Ministries proudly presents Sofa Sundays with your hosts, Michelle Azugwu and Reverend Jeannie Sovereigns. Sundays at 11:11 a.m. Arizona time. And rebroadcast on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come join us on the sofa every Sunday. Sofa Sundays with Michelle and Jeannie. Learn more at www.beginwithinministries.com. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.
Oh, it caught me eating.
Good morning. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
My son's birthday
Right.
today.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Trey
birthday,
Davis. He used to
Our
be
first employee.
our first employee. He was our tech god for a little bit there, and then decided.
He was a god.
He decided that he needed.
It was too good for us.
He was too good for us, and then he needed a job that paid more. Like most of Generation Z, they
I don't know
know.
what the problem is.
They know that they're worth more. And I love that about them, right? I love that about them.
I thought we paid him well, though.
I thought he was paid
We
well.
did. We just didn't have
Yeah.
more hours. We only
Right,
had
that's right. We play well,
we had
but
these 3 hours.
you only get 3 hours
That's all
worth
you
of
get,
work a
sorry.
week. Yeah, so,
Yeah, apparently
So,
it's on.
yeah, you definitely couldn't pay the rent or make enough money for gas in your car when you turn 16,
Well, not how
Yeah.
the 16-year-olds drive.
Right.
What are you doing driving around?
right?
Gas is expensive. You can't just drive
Yeah.
around.
That's right. You get 2 gallons worth of gas in our
it.
paycheck.
I know. Well, now we have the twins, so
Right. So and
We're
they
good.
spend it all on junk food.
yes.
Yes.
Can we go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of junk food? That's
Yes.
what they want. So
They want junk food. So
hire 13-year-olds. It's much easier.
yes, yeah, that's against labor laws, but whatever.
They're my own children, so it's fine. Not
It's
breaking
fine.
any laws here on
Fine.
Sundays.
It's
But we do
fine.
have to say happy birthday to Trey. So we're happy
Yes.
that you are now 17, and we look forward to celebrating you later.
Yes, awesome. The Cinco de Mayo, baby.
Today
We'll never
is a
forget.
beautiful day.
In gonna be May. Yeah.
It is beautiful outside.
It is
Little
beautiful
breeze.
outside.
Very nice outside. We have a
And-
special guest here, all the way from another part of the world.
Yes, she has been here before. You weren't here when she got here.
Whatever.
So you were in another part
You
of the
get
world.
the whole thing now.
That's right. Right.
The complete
Exactly.
The complete package. I'm so excited. I
Exactly.
didn't miss it. Miss you on
I
the trip.
always say that we're, global because Chris watches us in Australia.
Yes, thank you for
And
that.
so now
Thank
she's
you.
here and we're so grateful. We're so
And I was
grateful
in
that you're
London,
here.
so
Yes. Did you
I was
watch
watching
us?
us a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
For a hot second.
That was late night. That was a late night for you.
On our honeymoon.
Yeah. That's right. I'm glad you took me along. I appreciate that.
I know. You did a good
I
job.
don't think she watched much.
No, I'm gonna say
Not
no.
very much, but I
I'm gonna
did.
say no. Yeah.
No, it was
Oh,
I'm so happy to be back.
So where are you back at? Where are we?
I'm back here at the home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington at the Unleash Your Life Studios.
7220 North 16th Street, Phoenix, Arizona 85050. We are in building A1, not the steak sauce. I usually go, but look for these girls, but as you can notice, they're missing. So technical difficulties, that's
Or
okay.
Technical forgetting.
Right. So anyway, they look like I was about to grab your coffee. They look like this. Well, that's kind of a hard one to see too. Yeah.
I was
And,
going to say something and I forgot already.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be a long hour. So
I am.
yes.
I know.
So Reverend Michelle does a lot of great things here at Unleash Your Life. And
Right.
if you want to find out more about that, please go to unleashyourlife.us. She has weekly women's circles, and I believe we're starting a Tuesday night, May 21st, I think. So if you want to get
You can still
into a
get in.
circle, please go to unleashyourlife.us.
I couldn't get in there. I
You
know
couldn't
Chris.
get in? No.
What?
Yeah. And I do know that she's also going to be doing a financial rock star class coming up. So if you're interested in becoming a financial rock star, please go to her
I'm
website
sure we all are.
and find out more information about that.
I love it. Michelle's one of our mentors, and I know what I was going to say. I was going to say that that's the only part of our service that's canned, that's scripted, that we say every
That
single
we
time.
say, yeah.
That we know we're going to say, but we do that on purpose because Michelle has been such a support to us for many, many years, like 20 years for me. I don't know how long for you, but I think about 20 years.
Well, now I'm going on
17,
about,
7 to 18 years.
I'm going on about 12.
Yeah, year before Trey was born, so I can peg it like that. But yeah, long time. And so she supports this ministry today, and so we always want to make sure you're aware of who she is and that she has her own stuff going on.
Right.
So if you want, her in your life, we can highly recommend it.
Yes, we can.
That's why we do that every time. But the rest of it is not scripted. We never know what the other one's going to say.
No, and it's always a little scary
A
for
little worried
Michelle.
sometimes. Yes, it's me that's
It's
scared.
always
It's me
scary
that's
for
worried.
Michelle.
And they all laugh because they all know.
They do. They're waiting. They're like, what's he gonna say now?
He's gonna say.
Yeah. Well, now I'm gonna say, you're gonna pray us in. You
I
want me
will
to
pray
pray
us
us
in. Yes, I
You gonna
will.
pray
I'd
us
love
in?
to.
Awesome.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Everybody did their intention rocks up here this morning.
Yeah, we have our intention rocks.
Everybody
So
said, if
there
you
we
didn't,
go.
if you don't have set an intention for this morning, and we'll do that.
Right. Amy's getting her rock. Welcome back, Amy. It's been a while since we've seen you, so I'm glad you're back, honey.
Nice. There she is.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank
two.
you. Oh, yeah. She's got a lot of intentions today.
I like it.
Alrighty.
Oh, with that sound of the chime, that brings us into this present moment. And with a breath, that grounds us into this present moment. And as we recognize where we are, as we ground into this moment, we realize there's only one power, one presence. There's only one magnificent energy, and we call it God. God is love. God is joy. God is that connection we feel in this space together. God is perfect, whole, and complete. God is all there is. And each one of us is a manifestation of the divine, of God. Each one of us is also perfect, whole, and complete. Each one of us is made of that divine, sparkly God stuff, so we could be nothing else. We are that love. We are that joy. And from that place of my knowing, I seek my truth into the law, knowing that as I do, I set the law of God in motion, a law that can only say yes to what I have said. And I know that as each one of us allows ourselves to be present, to be in this perfect moment, we each receive what is ours to receive. We each give what is ours to give. We connect in the laughter, in the joy, in the love. We freely share our ideas. We feel connected. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this time together. I'm so grateful that it is perfect. It's divinely guided and already done in the mind of God. And so I let it go. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So today's topic.
Is dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. I do my part through prayer.
Yes, that's our superpower.
That is our superpower. Man, prayer takes care of things.
We have a couple. We have more than just that one, but that's
Right,
a powerful one.
That's a good
like
one.
the main
Choice
one.
is another one.
Yeah, we have a lot of superpowers.
The way we think, but if we think the way we think and we choose the way we choose, then prayer is powerful.
So I have a reading.
What?
I know.
It's amazing.
So shocked.
Right? It's another
Such a
scripted
surprise.
thing. I have a reading today from affiliated New Thought Networks.
Oh,
New Thoughts for today.
and what page is it today, my friend?
Today we are on 26. And
just in case you want to know, this month's topic is Manifest May. That's right. We'll be manifesting in May.
Yes. So think about what you want to be manifesting this month.
Exactly. So it is what it is until
That's a good title.
that's
It is
the
what it
title.
is until.
Treatment for those who haven't been following along at home. Treatment is how Ernest Holmes describes affirmative prayer. So don't let it scare you. Treatment is not for the purpose of making things happen. It is to provide within ourselves an avenue through which they may happen. Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind, page 274. One night, I was listening to the radio as I drove home on a dark highway. The conversation between the DJ and a guest included this line: "It is what it is until it isn't anymore." I didn't hear anything else that followed. I thought about how affirmative prayer, treatment, is taught and used in religious science. The process is generally composed of 5 steps. Meditation is encouraged prior to the first step. Step 1, recognition, is when I notice and describe my God nature like a drop in the ocean of spirit. I focus on such ideas until I feel a sense of connection to the divine, moving me into the second step, unification. Here, I bask in the oneness of life and creative energy. As an individualized expression of the divine, I am connecting to and one with all life. Then I move into step 3, realization, where I declare with absolute belief whatever it is I choose to create or experience in my life. Given the abundance of examples in the universe, I know whatever I can imagine is possible in the mind of spirit. Once I'm complete with my expressed desire, step 4, thanksgiving, and step 5, release, quickly follow. I let go of my words and thoughts and turn it all over to this higher power so the universal energy of life can begin its part in the creative process. If you or I want to change whatever it is into something else, we need to do our part, not with force or wishes, but through prayer, belief, and action. It is what it is until we declare something else.
That's right.
Just for today, I live my life as a prayer and stay in constant gratitude for all that is, knowing this too shall pass. Reverend Dr. Carla Ryan, Interfaith and Religious Science Minister, North Bend, Oregon.
Ooh, Oregon.
Yeah.
I like Oregon.
I let Reverend Dr. Carla know via Facebook that we would be quoting her today. So we got the thumbs up. So
So good.
it is so good. So I love that it breaks down affirmative prayer, especially for this month of manifestation.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and the first quote is Ernest Holmes saying, "That's not what prayer's for." Right? It's not to make things. So what we want to be clear with, and I spoke about last week also, is this isn't the get rich quick scheme. This isn't, we think about it and then it's there, even though those things happen.
Right.
Right? Prayer is about changing us inside so that the circumstances outside either don't affect us or they also change because of our change.
Right.
So many examples in that, aspect of what prayer does.
And I think many people, we've evolved from this, but I think many people still pray to God, beg to God, bargain with God in that sense of prayer. And that is, in my mind, not very effective because I've done it and I know what that doesn't produce anything.
If you
right?
get me out of this, I swear.
I'll never.
Again, right?
Yeah.
I'll always.
And that's not creating, it's creating more of what you've already done, because if we really understand how it works, right? What we think and believe is what's actually creating our life. So the whole goal of the prayer is not working on God, not bargaining with God. God already is like doing God's thing and just waiting for us to align. So this spiritual mind treatment, as Ernest called it, short treatment, it was short for that, or the affirmative prayer is all about adjusting ourselves
Right.
to be in line with the truth that God is all there is, and therefore that's the recognition, and therefore that's got to be what I'm made of, which is the unification. And if I'm made of what God is, then I also have the ability to create my world, my experience. What I'm a creator, just like God, because I have the same pedigree. I'm not all of God, but I'm a little drop of God doing my thing. So if I do my part through prayer, I'm aligning myself and my thinking. And that's why I say I'll allow myself, as we allow ourselves to stay in this present moment, we receive what is ours to receive. Right? We give what's ours to give, as if we allow it, where I'm allowing myself to recognize and unify with that. And then I will realize what I want to be creating.
Right.
So,
When it comes to spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, and such, I think a lot of people in science of mind tend to get scared, right? I'm not a practitioner. I didn't go through all that. I'm not a minister, right? Like, it's like, I
Well,
can't.
it seems complicated.
It does. It does
I
seem
remember that.
complicated. Oh my goodness. And when you go through practitioner training, somebody is judging your prayers
That
and
was
making
really
little notes on
hard.
them. And yeah, it's, God bless them. So it does get a little like, no, you did that wrong, and you're like, oh, okay.
Can I
You
say
know.
really quick? I know, but those of you listening, everybody in this room understands pretty much understands the 5 steps. So what I said earlier wasn't foreign or strange, but I can remember first times going to religious science, going
Right.
to Creative Living Fellowship. I didn't go as a member. I went as a singer.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting through a service and she's praying and I'm like, what in the world is she talking about? Like, it was all over the place for me. It was like, all this fluffy, God is blah, 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 blah. It's like beautiful. And it's all, and I'm like, what? Like, get to it. What are we praying? What are we praying about?
Yeah,
What are we
get
doing?
to it.
It was so weird
Lonnie broke
until,
it down.
Yeah.
until I got to Foundations, which was with the class that taught what a spiritual mind treatment was. And I was like, oh, is that what they were doing?
Yes.
Now I can hear the steps. I can
Right.
hear the 5 parts of the affirmative prayer, and now it makes sense. But back then,
Right.
so if those of you listening, it
There-
just seemed like a bunch of all over the place stuff. It's because you're not aware what the different steps are.
So when I was in practitioner training, I learned to remember the 5 steps as, are you ready to receive?
Oh,
you ready to
I love that.
What?
Are you ready to
Are you
receive?
ready to
I
receive?
thought it was, are you ready to rock?
That too. That would
Knowing
work.
me, that would work.
Right.
Just to your basic point, is I gave up prayer back from Catholic days
Yeah.
because I just felt like this is weird. I'm just like begging for good things to happen to me, like you said, and I feel like I'm an action taker, so I'm going to go take action and do it. But what you're saying is I'm allowed to combine the two, and instead of just not let it be there. So I love this idea of just what you said, like tell me how to use it positively, because I can control some of it and not just being this throw it up in the air, something comes to me. Like I can be putting the good faith to it. So I just love this, because now I can bring prayer in without being negative against it, just like you
Right.
said. It's
Nice.
Great.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, that I agree, right? So coming into New Thought, Science of Mind, I was like, what in the world? What is this?
Yeah.
This is craziness.
Weird.
These blasphemers,
Weirdness, weird
Right.
stuff, right?
and I'm sure people thought that last week, because I just looked them right in the eye and said, I am God.
She looked you
So
right in the
I looked
eye.
them right in the eye and said it.
Oh, Lord.
Not only am I God, but you all are. Yeah,
Yeah. Pieces
You know.
of God running around.
That's right. I
Running
mean,
around. What you do to
and
other people, you're doing to yourself.
That's
We're all
right.
one. And
And the master teacher talked about that
Yes,
in the
100%.
Bible, right? So I just want to remind everybody that, gets a little about that.
Well, because they think you're saying, I am God, like I'm all God. Like I'm
Right.
no, I am God in this manifestation called Michelle.
Right.
And just like you are God in a manifestation called Jeannie.
Right.
So once you realize that, I mean, I'm not creating the whole world, like I don't even know how you say that, but I'm creating my world because I have the same attributes. I have the same powers.
And that is, again, goes to the part of prayer that says I'm part of this. I'm part of this world. I'm manifesting with this. And, there's a few when we used to be all this is happening to me. That's how our prayer was too.
Right.
That, it's like, if you get me out of this, that's a two mentality. That's like, I'm not participating in this. I'm not creating this, and I need to be saved from this.
Right.
So that's that prayer that says, if you get me out, I'll never do this again. Or, and I'm sure I've told this story about how I used to try to manipulate God with tears, in my prayer, and, it didn't work. And, it's like, so I love Science Minds, spiritual mind treatment. So we'll go through that again so that is really easy to understand.
Right.
So the first step is recognition. And with recognition, that just means you recognize everything that God is. And I was taught, get that feeling.
Yes.
Right?
Like high.
Because
So kind of high. Like
get
excited.
that feeling into what God is. And we all have a friend, her name is Susan, and man, Susan gets some beautiful expressions of God. I just remember when I would hear her pray, I'd be like, oh, because as she would describe God, I could feel that. And she's a photographer, so her creativity when she speaks, you can definitely hear it. I heard Ann was talking about one of my other mentors, Lonnie, and Lonnie used to say, God is, I am, here's what I want. Thank you. Peace out. There's your 5-step prayer.
That's Lonnie for you.
Yeah. But that's so memorable.
That's all you need to do. That really is it.
And truthfully, if you can remember God is, I am, you're done.
That's it.
Everything else will just come to you. Honestly. Right? With the rest of that, what follows is really for our benefit, not for the divine mind of all.
Yeah.
Right? That's for our benefit to align us and to
Right.
say, this is what I want. And
thank you for that.
and thank
now I
you.
let it go, let you
and let it be
let
done.
the law of God
Yeah.
do its work. Yeah.
And to remember that, now I'm going to quote Garth Brooks, right? Sometimes we thank God for unanswered prayers. So, there's time periods where we think we want blah, 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 whatever blah, blah, blah is, and then something way better happens, right?
Right.
Because we've let it go. And so now it builds, and we would have maybe shorted ourselves some amazing blessing or abundance that is out there for us if we hadn't been open to receive. Receiving is such a big part of what comes from that from the release step.
Right. And not being so focused on receiving what we think we want to receive, but what the feeling of the receiving would be. If I want to feel, so if I'm in a relationship and if I want a relationship, instead of saying I want a relationship with that person, instead I would say I want to feel loved and honored and respected. I want a relationship that does X, Y, Z, and let God move, let the law of God move that to you. Instead of I want this person and that other person shows up and you're like, no, you're not that. You're not,
yeah.
I want this. Or, I've pegged
want
it
it
to
like
be
this,
this,
yeah.
So to be open, because there are unlimited possibilities of how it can show up. And it's for us to align with and be open to it coming to us. Align with the love. I'm open to the love and the joy and the happiness that's mine. I'm open to that, and then let it just come however it shows up and be like, oh my gosh, that was kind of a cool way to give it to me.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was so cool. So
There's that infinite field of possibilities.
Yeah.
One of the
Infinite.
Yeah,
That's the word.
so
Infinite. I'm sorry, you
infinite
can't even
possibilities.
imagine the ways.
Right.
Can't even
And
do it.
so that, like, you make a great point. So you don't want to just, narrow it down that
So
it can
much,
only
yeah.
come this way.
You miss
And
it.
and we've heard that before, especially about money. That's a big one for people. Like, I want money. I need $1,000 or $10,000 or $1 million, whatever it is. And it's like, well, what is it that will bring you?
That's the focus.
So that's like when I have practitioner sessions and somebody comes to me with their problem, whatever that might be, and I say, but how do you want to feel? What is it that you want to feel like this? Well, I want to feel financially secure, so I don't wake up in the middle of the night thinking that somebody's going to come take what I have. Or I want to feel financially secure so that when I see something online that I want, that I can or can't, based on the fact whether I want it or not on my bank account. Like, I want to be able to just live openly and freely and to have enough money to spend, spare, share, and so that is so much more than I need 20 grand to pay off my debt. Right? Because that's like limiting, and we want that expansive feel. So like, there's a big one for me is that expansive feel of God.
Yeah.
Right? And to remember that God is all there is, right? However you term God, divine, presence, universal,
Energy,
everything. Yeah. However you want it. God's just easy because it's 3 letters, God, goddess, whatever we want to go with. It's just easier.
Right. Probably what we're used to.
Right. A lot of people are, used to that word. Goddess. Gus. Yeah. I think our friend PJ says George.
George.
Right. A lot of Catholic kids think it's Howard.
Howard,
Yeah. Howard be thy name. Right. So, I mean, that's God's first name. Right.
I like that as a first name for God. I think that works.
Howard.
Howard is good.
Howard's a great one.
No, but and to really be just, I think that what you're talking about is that living on your life to where you're feeling that excited feeling. It's like the guy that I watched recently. I don't remember his name, but he was talking about that he changed his luck, and everybody today would just say, "Oh, you're just so lucky. Like, things just happen for you. You're so lucky." He's like, "No." He said, "I changed my thinking around things." So when bad things would happen, like I think he said he was like on a trip with some guy friends, and a couple things happened that weren't like what they wanted. I think the weather was bad. Like, oh, just our luck. This would happen. Now we can't do blah, blah, blah. They were just kind of like negative Nellies the whole part of the trip. And then I don't know how it shifted, but instead they started to shift that and say, well, just our luck. We got to, but look at just our luck. We got to do this, and just our luck. We got to do that. And now throughout his life, he just says that for everything that happens. Oh, just my luck. I burnt my coffee in the microwave, right? Oh, just my luck. But you can feel the difference in how that elevates and then now you're attracting because you feel that you're lucky, and so just things start coming to you. But it's that feeling that to maintain that feeling is always attracting. So when you want to manifest, it's being in this prayer. And if you say God is and I am, you should have that feeling.
Get that vibration going. Yeah.
That's where to sit, because everything that you want, the things that you want sit in that vibration. But the moment that we go, didn't come, I didn't get the check, didn't have, like, that's now you're dropping.
And if you're an Abraham fan, right? Abraham uses the word vortex, right? We have all our stuff up in our vortex, and as we become aligned with it, here it comes, right? And when we're not aligned, we got all this, and sometimes I think I probably have a storehouse of stuff in my vortex that, has been sitting up there because, like I spoke about last week, what happens when we plant the seed and it's been 2 weeks and we're like, ain't got that yet. Let's dig that up.
Gotta dig it up and check it.
What's going on in there?
You doing anything? What's going on?
And
right. That sends all the wrong That's the
Right.
wrong message, the wrong thinking, so it's the wrong vibration. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
pray, I do my part through prayer.
Right.
Your part is to maintain your vibration, to maintain your realization that, or the recognition that God is and you are.
Right. So that's recognition and unification.
Yeah.
Those first two are that's
That should
where
make you.
that's where your work is.
Yeah.
Right? Because that, you know, how Reverend Dr. Carla had said, you know, it's good to have meditation before a 5-step prayer. And absolutely. Sometimes that's not possible, right? Sometimes my prayers are because something just happened
Yeah.
and
Treat
I
ourselves.
don't have time to like now go into meditation. And then no, like that's not it. And or, you know, a previous minister of mine used to say, don't answer that phone unless you're ready to pray. And so, you know, and so if I'm not answering the phone, you know why?
Oh,
I haven't meditated. No, I'm
No.
kidding. Okay.
But you can quickly move into that place just
Right.
with those two
So
steps.
with those two, that's what I was getting
And that's
at.
the
Yeah,
trick.
that's the thing, right? To get to that space. So like
Yeah.
for me, I'm going to give you my secret. Okay, you ready?
Are you guys ready?
This is my secret. I say, God is the bees, trees, and the besties. That to me, those three things, bees, trees, and besties, puts
That already
me,
feels good.
right?
That
It
feels
puts
happy.
me in a happy go-to place.
Yes.
You know, and then from there, because just like in my mind, looking at trees and where they're at, and my besties and bees and how they're like all by the flowers and it's a spring, that feeling is my lightness, right? And so then I am one with that. I am one with that effervescent God bubble joy.
Yes.
You know, those are the things. So when you hear us praying and we use words like effervescent God bubbles or sparkly God stuff, you know, that's because that's what's resonating with us. That's our go-to for that. I got goosebumps, you know, that's our go-to
God
for
bumps.
that happy.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that part of me that says, yes, 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 I am one with that. And so those two things, recognition and unification, those are the big words for
Yes.
it, right?
That's
But
your
really
part.
it is, God
That's
is
your
I
part.
am,
That's your part to do.
right? So now the third step is realization. Another big word that if you're
I know.
testing, you need to know that. If you're not,
you're not.
here's
you're
the
just-
easiest.
Yeah.
Realization is now, and you'll hear us say, I speak my word into the law, right? So I learned a very easy sentence to start that. I speak my word into the law for the highest and best good of this day, this experience, this relationship, this conversation, whatever, right? The highest and best good. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't always know the highest and best, right? I know what I want to feel in that, right? And that's why we say go with that feeling in the beginning, you know, what that feels like to you.
Yeah, right.
But I don't always know, I don't want to, you know, pinpoint and what are
We want
the,
God's best. I mean,
Right.
I
I don't
what
wanna-
I think is the best, but I want
Right.
the highest and
I
best.
want the highest and best there. So, and that's what I ask for, you know, and I'll throw out what I think it might be, you know, right, and then add this or something better, right? Because, you know, I don't know.
We have a limited view.
We do.
Limited view. Just our little.
Oh
our
my
little
goodness.
world.
So everybody knows I love getting fashion glasses, right? You know, and these are all prescriptions. So when I'm online ordering, because you said limited view, when I'm online ordering my glasses, you get a choice of views. So you can get a narrow view in your lens or a wider view in your lens.
Which one do you choose?
I
Jean?
choose the wider
Yes,
view.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right? It costs a little bit more, but I'm worth it.
You're worth it.
Yeah. So like that is so amazing to like think about that even when it comes to, our glasses and stuff, right? That there are things that your standard ones kind of like, you're not always seeing clearly out the side. I ask for a wider view on my glasses, right? I need a wider view in my life.
Right.
And being in recovery, I had a sponsor who used to say, if you don't like what you're looking at, move over 6 inches. And it's like, get a different perspective, right? Get a different perspective of what's happening.
100%.
So
yeah,
that's why we want to go with our highest and best.
I love that. And I always remind when I pray, I always remind myself that the law of God always just says yes. So whatever I'm putting out, God's just saying yes. And we talked about this last time I was sitting on the sofa, which feels like forever ago. a couple weeks ago.
It was last month.
Eternity.
It was
Last month. It was so long ago. But God's always just saying, the law of God just says yes.
Yes.
Just yes and yes and yes to all that you're putting out there. So be careful what you're putting out there. Pay attention. Don't just run through life. Pay attention to what you're putting out there, because the law of God just says yes. So that when I pray, and I get myself in that place, then I remind myself that, and the law of God will always say yes to what I've spoken.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of makes me feel powerful. The power of what I'm saying will manifest because God's just saying yes. So.
But you have to do some work for it, which, you know what I mean? Like God's going to say yes, but still your own action is going to create like what you're praying for,
You
which is
follow.
like, right, just because
your
I
thinking.
want this to happen, you're going to say, he's going to say yes, but also it's like he's giving you the yes, go ahead, but there is some follow-up action. To all
Treat
of
and
it,
move
which
your
is-
feet.
Straight, move your feet.
Yeah, which is back to your point. So it's,
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Now I'm listening to her and I'm going, what am I going to say?
Yeah, right.
I recently heard this and I loved it. It was a line. It said, "Your words are wands."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Your words are wands.
Your words are wands.
Yes. I love
They
that.
have power.
Right?
Your thinking is the strongest,
Abracadabra.
but the words have power. That what you're speaking out has. You have superpowers that you just do, and you just need to be aware of that. A lot of people run through life never aware of the power that they're just wielding around like a wand, just like flapping their wands around, and now you're wondering what all this is, right? It's like, be aware, right? Be
They didn't get their
mindful.
Hogwarts
Right,
invitation.
thank you.
And they're just moving their
I
wands.
know, and then they wonder why they don't like what they're experiencing,
Mhm.
right?
yeah.
They're not getting themselves in the right alignment. So
Now I'm in
that's the
Harry
work.
Potter.
I know.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
It's
Here we go.
magical.
Yeah.
Magical
Do it.
May manifesting.
Magical manifesting May.
There we go.
Ooh, I like it.
I love it.
Triple M.
Love it.
Let's
Triple
do it.
M.
Yes.
There we go.
But yes, that's why I do my part to repair. That's our part of what I just like the superpower thing, but that's our job. One of our
Right.
job is to keep ourselves in that space, pay attention to our thinking so we stay aligned with what we're putting out there.
And
Just
that,
pull
you
it
know,
back.
and that goes back to what, and I'm not a big Bible quoter, but today it's my second one. Okay.
Oh,
So that goes back to where it talks about pray without ceasing.
yes.
Right. And so like when we think about that, especially going back to, Judeo-Christian, even Muslim type of procedures of prayer, I think that a lot of people, especially modern day people, hear pray without ceasing and think pomp and circumstance, think prayer rugs, think, kneeling, think,
Right.
I've got to stop everything. And so that doesn't seem, or even, go up some mountain and become a monk, right? That I got to stop everything to pray. Your life is a prayer, right? What you do each and every moment is that is given, right? And so what are we giving out? What is that vibration that we're bringing to the circumstance, the individual that we're, meeting, or whatever, even just sitting here? Like, what is that vibration that we're bringing, that prayer? Where are we aligned with? Remember that while driving home. That's the time period that I pray a lot. I'm so glad, right? Cindy agrees, right? I drive a lot less nowadays, thank goodness, you know.
Me too.
But some days, you know, I have to get on the 10. Going east or west, it doesn't matter. You're on the 10 and you're in prayer. And that, you know, that's how I look at it. You know, it definitely is something that has taught me to, you know, just kind of allow, right? Because otherwise I sit in that frustration of a traffic jam or somebody cutting me off or whatever. It's so much easier to be in the prayerful state
Right.
of I am one with, you know, the divine. And
Yeah.
I love that. I've been listening to meditations actually. You know, I'm not shutting my eyes, I promise, but I've been listening to like meditative things while driving and just reminding myself that there is so much life force that is out there, right? And everybody in each individual car is having the same,
Yes.
you know, life force experience, and maybe they're not as happy.
I say that to my kids all the time. You know, like some people don't have what we have. They don't come from a home of love. They don't come from, you know, give everybody some grace. And I say it to my husband too, give everybody some grace. Like, let's define that place, because when you are affected negatively or you respond negatively, you're just creating more of the thing that you don't like that they're doing. That's what you're putting out.
Right.
We're always putting out. And it's, you know, if we're putting out negativity and then we're upset because someone's negative, it's like, well, I put out negativity, even just responding to someone else's negativity. I'm doing it too. I'm just as guilty if I'm doing that too. So the constant reminder that God is, and so am I, and so is everyone else.
So is everyone
Helps
else.
you to stay in that space of grace for yourself and for other people who are
Right.
moving through all this stuff too. This is our first time having a living unless, you know, I don't, if I've been reincarnated, if that's a thing,
I don't have any
remember.
memories. Yeah.
So like for me, this is my first experience moving through here, and I'm navigating it as best I can with the things I've been given.
Right.
Or that
And I didn't come with
as best as
a
I can, just like anybody
guidebook.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
see, I
like,
didn't get one of those either. I thought it was
This is
just
what
me.
it's going to be like
Right.
when you are this old in this state
Right.
doing this, right?
And
Like,
there's no one else that has had the same experience that you've had to even give you
right.
the secret tricks or something, or to even say, oh, really? Here, let me just give you mine, and then here's how
Then
it's
you'll
done.
be
Because
fine.
my stuff's all different from your stuff.
Right.
Mine's totally unique. You're unique. We're trying to give each
You're
other.
unique, just like everybody
I
else.
know. We're trying to give each other what we have, the little glimmers, the little bits that we
Right.
have learned, that we do know, but we're all still moving from our own unique manifested selves. And I think that's I do my part through prayer. It isn't I'm on my knees praying and I'm in
Right.
a quiet place meditating. You know, sometimes I'm in the car going,
Mhm.
all right, cut me off. I love you.
Right.
I know you and I, we are one. And
We are one.
like, it's just like keep myself in check is doing prayer. You
So,
know?
I remember this one time I was like, everyone is a part of God.
Oh.
And I said that sometimes they're God's armpits.
Yeah.
And actually that wasn't the body part, but I am being, you know, family friendly here. And
Yes, we try to keep it G-rated, Jeannie.
so, you know, it's like you have to, that grace, like you said, that grace, not just, you know, be kind to yourself and be kind to others, because everyone has things that they're going through.
Everyone.
Everyone.
They
You
can
know.
cover it up. They can make it look real pretty on Instagram. But,
Right.
you know, it's like,
Oh yeah.
it's really
Oh, yeah.
interesting to me. My favorite, one of the things, like, I don't know, I bring this up, but like there are times, have you ever like been around somebody that you think is all sunshine and rainbows and everything's wonderful, and then you're hanging out and maybe even with a group or something, and there's a moment that you see something else and you're like, whoa, what
A
was that?
thundercloud.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, what was that? Oh, that is interesting. That's so interesting to me to see the something else, to see like, oh, there's something going on in here. So all that's out here is not the truth, or not,
Well, it's a part of
it's a
Yeah.
mask, or it's whatever, because there's
Right.
something else And then it just reminds me again, see, we're all having stuff. We all are triggered. We all have these little things. So you don't, like I was just talking to my husband about my brother-in-law, who's a minister in Washington. And he has one of the best testimonies that I've ever heard of a Christian pastor, or anyone for that matter. And a lot of it is because when you look at him, you've met him, right? Well, when he was younger, he looks like Hercules. He's tan, he's big and buff, little blonde curls at the top of his head, super handsome. And you just you think this guy's got it all going on.
Right. Blessed life. Yeah.
Easy, right? Found a great wife, my sister, of course, she's wonderful, beautiful dog, like everything's perfect for this guy. But then you hear his testimony and you're like, oh my God, this man tried to kill himself and would have been successful had the car not turned off out of not having enough gas. Would have died. He would have made it happen. He was that blown. His brain was so blown that he wandered the streets with, I think when he fell, his hand hit the exhaust pipe and it burned while he was passed out. And so he wandered the streets with a bleeding hand and completely mind blown. And somebody saw this man and got him into a hospital, and they figured out who he was, and his father left. He was in Florida, and his father left Washington and came his father was a pastor also. Nathan wasn't obviously a pastor at this time, but came and helped him, nursed him back to health, and then helped him get back home. But they said he would never have short-term memory. He would never be able to do certain things. They didn't even know if he'd ever drive, feed himself.
Right.
Today's man's fully functioning because he worked on it and prayed and all this through God, right? But you would see him and it would blow your mind that somebody that looks like that and appears like that would ever want to throw that away. But I think that's why his testimony is so powerful, and why it's such a realization that every single human being, I don't care how great it looks, we all have things that we work on and we fight through and we want to be better at for ourselves, for the people that we love, that we're all doing that. So give some grace.
Right.
When you're driving around even
or how bad it looks.
Yeah.
No matter how good or bad it looks, right? Because we've all experienced the displaced people here in Arizona, right? Especially in Phoenix, where our homeless population is up 30% than where it's been. So there's a lot of displaced people.
Yeah.
And, I have been guilty of that, thought process, back in the day, like, why?
Right.
Because most of the United States is one paycheck away. Right? They're living paycheck to paycheck. And, let me not get on my soapbox about the raises of all the prices, but, those type of things. And sometimes people just can't, and yes, there are other reasons. There is addiction, there is mental health issues, there's all other things. So the grace like when they walk out in front of you, give grace, right? Give grace. The person that looks perfect and just, did their little routine and kind of annoyed you.
Yeah,
Give grace.
Give grace. Yeah.
Give grace. Because you're right. There's a superpower for sure. Right? Because one, that allows you not to carry it. Right? Grace allows me not to carry what just frustrated me, what just irritated me.
And not be a magnet of that.
Right.
Like,
because that attraction thing is what you're putting out, that vibration. So recently, my world, and I've shared that among people that know me, but now I'm going to go public. I was having a hard time. I was really feeling depressed. I was not doing good. My body was not doing good. So I am a believer that your body manifests the things that you're kind of stuck in you, that you haven't worked out, that you're kind of trying to hide and, and I was having to go places like here and put on a smile. And, and then after the camera turned off, I would talk to people and be like, well, I'm just not doing that great, and stuff, please, pray, and I don't want to
throw out my process of, like, here's what's going on. Let's, that's not what I do. I do have a therapist. I do have a spiritual mentor. I do have a journal. I have practices. I do those things. But the feeling was not there for me. And so because the feeling wasn't there for me, more things were happening for me. And as much as I would like to say, I hate when that happens, because I'm not a fan. It reminds me that no matter what, this works, whether I want it to or not, whether I believe in it or not, right? It's just like electricity. If you turn on the light switch and it's connected and you paid your bill, it's going to come on.
Right.
That's just how that works. And so I was in that spot of, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do my things. A lot of it was around, it was pretty much the whole month of April, but a lot of it was around physical pain. And, anybody that deals with chronic pain knows, like, I've got this level, and then if it hits me higher, like, I'm taking all my effort just to move.
Right.
So it made me kind of cranky and stuff. So I've been working on doing the things I know that make my body feel better. Stop eating the things that make my body feel bad. Add the things that make it feel better. Getting on my bike. Just doing those different things, and it changed. And then I was mad. It changed. I was mad because I knew better, and why didn't I do it sooner? So I was not giving myself that grace. We do what we do until, right? It is what it is until, it isn't. And that changes with the prayer. That changes with the things that we know to do, right? And I think if there was any gift I could give anybody, it would be that you are the master of this ship, right?
Yeah.
You know what it is that you need to do. And if you need to ask somebody else, you're not ready, right? Like, do I need to quit my job? Do I need to move across the country? Do I need to? You already know. So if you're still asking, whatever it is, you're not ready. And that's okay. You don't have to be.
Yeah, give yourself some grace.
Exactly.
It's just okay.
Oh, this is a whole different card. Give yourself some grace.
I know,
That might
you
be-
don't have
that might
to
be
move.
June.
You don't have to move in any certain way.
No.
Surely if you move right now, it would be faster. But you can also just say, it might be, that might be part of the journey that you need to go through too.
Right.
So there's no right or wrong. It's our own perception of the thing that's causing us to think it's right or wrong, which makes us more stressed out, more anxious, more upset. Just leave it alone and just trust God's timing that you'll know when, you'll do it when. It's fine. You could do it right now. Do I want to do it right now? But yes, I 100% agree. We have all the answers. Everything that we want is because it's already there for us. It already exists, and you know the way. You just have to trust that and decide to move from that. You don't need anybody else to save you. You don't need anybody else to tell you anything. You already have, you've been fully equipped.
You are fully equipped.
Fully equipped.
You are whole, perfect, and complete.
100%.
Batteries included.
Batteries included.
Yeah, it's an
I
endless
love
supply,
that.
people.
Right. And
Right.
there is nothing you need to do, be, or have. You're already worthy.
Already worthy. And
You're
maybe there's
already
work
worthy.
there. Because
Sure.
I think sometimes people do know the answer. They know they want to do X, Y, Z. And there's that part of themselves that's scared,
Sure.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And they sabotage and sabotage and sabotage to the point where they just debilitate and they can't do the thing. Now I think we've all done that, right? Like I'm not.
My
the only
spiritual
one.
mentor
Yes.
mentioned that I might have,
Yeah.
an upper limit that I was
That's it.
hitting.
That's
that
what you
month.
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And so it takes time. There's a lot of programming that we've had from childhood, from birth, programming, and we're trying to maneuver from that. So there's only one thing you can do is give yourself grace, because this is all part of the journey of becoming more of who we are outwardly, like allowing ourselves to be more of our truth. So I think I don't think there's anything wrong with any of it. I think that's us making the decision. Like, oh, I said I was going to do this week and I didn't do it. And
Right.
I'm a loser. And we're like, no, you're not any of those things. You just didn't do the things this week. That's it.
Love
You
it.
just didn't do
Right.
it. So what? You didn't. So do you want to do it today? Do you want to do it tomorrow? Like,
And
just
if
do
it's
it.
on your list and you didn't get
Whatever.
to it,
Whatever.
and it doesn't bring you joy, take it off your list.
Yes.
You're in charge.
Oh my God.
You're
That's
in charge
best
of you.
realization.
You're in charge
You
of
are the decision maker
You
of
are.
your life. The fact that you are having a life
Yeah.
proves to me that you are the decision maker of it.
Exactly.
There's only one person, and that's you.
And
So
so,
there it is.
because I'm like,
So do
looking
your
at-
part through prayer, people.
I'm looking at our watch.
Do
We only
your
have a
part
few
through
more
prayer.
minutes here, but I want to go through the last two steps of
Yeah.
prayer, Thanksgiving, and release.
The
So
easiest two.
the
steps.
easiest two for sure. So we spent a lot of time on the realization because it's what we
That's
need to
good.
know.
Yes,
I gotcha.
Yes.
So Thanksgiving says thank you. Thank you, it's done.
It's already done.
Thank you, I know this is done. And not thank you for everything. Thank you for this prayer. This prayer, what I was talking about, right? And then I release my word. I release what I just said into the law of God, into this love, into the infinite possibilities that already exist. I release this. And in releasing, that means we let it go.
Yeah.
We're not digging
Don't
it up.
keep checking on it.
We're letting it go.
Keep your mind right. That's
Right?
it.
And now, as Anne has said the last few weeks, right? We treat and move our feet. That means now you move forward knowing it's good.
Mhm.
You hear us say that.
Right.
I call it good. And so it is.
So it is. I
And
love
so it is. And
It is.
we say that versus amen because, well, one, they mean the same thing, but
it. Mhm.
and so it is gives us that power
Mhm.
to claim it.
Mhm.
So just wanted to throw that
I
out
love it.
there
I
in
love
the
it.
end.
So when you pray us out today, try to listen to, if you haven't been thinking this way, or you didn't know it before, everyone here already knows that, but if it's your first time really realizing what we're doing, like you can hear how Jeannie moves through those steps. And once I figured that out, oh my gosh, the prayers were so amazing.
Right.
Once I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is what we're doing.
Oh, you're not all over
Yeah.
the place.
I know, it was
Oh.
so weird before. So yeah, but yeah, do your part through prayer.
All right.
Your
Is
part.
there anything? Anybody?
Anyone?
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 Bueller?
Jake, show me a Coke. All right, then. I think she's going to pray us out.
So knowing that this infinite possibility, this space of bees, trees, and besties, this love that is all around, in, as, and through each of us, that I am one with this power, this presence, this heartbeat, this breath, as is each person within the sound of my voice and beyond. Oh, I speak my word into the law for the highest and best good of this day, knowing that each person present who has heard this takes from this time together what they needed, that they go forth and that they bring who they are as an individuation of God's stuff to each episode of their life, bringing the blessing that is them. For this time together, for this prayer, for each individual, I am so grateful. I am grateful, and I call it good. I let it go into the law. into the law that only says yes. And in faith, truth, and trust, I call it good. And together we say, and so it is.
Oh, thank you so much. You're welcome. All right. Well, we should see a lot of manifestation going on
Yeah,
this month.
there'll be a lot of manifesting
I'll
going
let you all know
on,
how to do that.
right?
How can we support you?
Oh, thank you, Anne. How can they support us? Well, you can share this this video today. You can share
Yes.
this live feed today. We would
Like
love it.
and subscribe
Like
on YouTube.
and subscribe on YouTube. Share it wherever you can share it,
Mhm.
Facebook, whatever. Just let people know about us. And you can also donate to us if you like what you're seeing on here. If you want to see more of us, if you want our ministry to grow, you can become a spiritual church club partner. And that is a monthly tithe or donation, however you look at it, of $45 a month for an individual or $75 a month for a family or a couple. And you can just do a one-time donation as well. And that's, you just go straight to our homepage at beginwithinministries.com, and it's right there. You can choose the one-time donation or the partnership donation, the monthly one.
Awesome. And if you do become a partner, you get these mugs, which coffee tastes better in them. I promise.
So does hot cocoa and water
Right.
and
Coffee
everything.
tastes better when the twins make it
I
too.
know.
I mean, there's something
We're
about having a
so-
twin make your coffee.
Yeah. So if you show up here with your mug, one of the twins will make your coffee.
There you
So,
go.
There you
I
go.
love it.
I
We
know,
used
it's
to we used to pimp out a tray like that.
I know. Yeah.
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 I have it on my counter and it reminds me of my good vibes.
There
you
go.
go.
So in the middle of the week when I've had road rage, I get home and I
There you go. And then you got your
You're
mug.
like-
yeah,
you're
and
like,
I'm like,
oh,
I get it, like you said, I'm gonna make it to
yeah.
Sunday. I'm gonna be a good person. So it's actually it's using it as a tool.
Oh,
There
that's
we
good.
go.
I
I
love
love that.
it. I like it.
There we go.
I love it.
So we're so grateful. Thank you for joining us on YouTube and Instagram.
Yay, let's see
and,
everyone in the room too. Thanks
and
for
thank
everyone
you,
being
everybody
here
in the
person.
room.
Lots of hugs.
Lots of hugs.
I
And we
know.
will see you next week.
Yes, you will.
Bye.
And here comes Lyric to shut off the feed. No, she's so cute.
Oh my god, check this out.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time, or Monday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.